recipe later.
But
yeah.
nettles,
yeah.
very appropriate to the next story. It's about painted lady butterflies, everyone's been coming on the message board. Actually, they got quite grumpy, and they said, "Oi, why aren't you doing anything about the painted ladies?" So now we are. Amazing, just hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands pouring in. We've had people reporting 10,000 streaming past them.
Wow.
You know, at one spot. Butterfly conservation reckon there may be millions, possibly tens of millions of painted lady butterflies in the UK now. It is probably a once-in-a-lifetime occasion.
Absolutely,
we'll never see it again. But of course, the fundamental question is, why is this happening?
What's going on? Well, why has it happened? Well, basically, we're going to explain it to you. In the springtime, in the very early spring, these butterflies start off in Africa. Here they are. Oh, we're over here. I'm terribly sorry. In the springtime, they start off in February in Africa. There, you see, at the beginning of the year, it is incredibly lush and green. Plenty of food. So they lay their eggs on here, and then they catch out, and the caterpillars gorge themselves, and then they emerge as adults, which in turn mate. But if they were to lay their eggs in Africa, by the time that they hatch, the hot sun, because it's so scorchio over there, would have wilted all of the plants, and there'd be no food for the young caterpillars. It wouldn't get anywhere. So the strategy is quite simple. They leave Africa, and they go to southern Europe.
They do indeed, and when they get to southern Europe, the whole cycle begins again, because in southern Europe, spring comes a little later than it does in Africa, so by the time they arrive, it is lovely and lush and green. So they lay their eggs on this beautiful vegetation, the eggs hatch to caterpillars, the caterpillars munch away, and they eventually become the adults. But by the time the adult butterflies emerge from their chrysalises, it's scorchio all over again, and all the plants have wilted, and so the butterflies do the only sensible thing, which is to fly north to
the UK, where it's freezio.
It certainly is at the moment, yeah.
But here, they've all arrived, and people have started to notice they're doing something rather unusual. Well, maybe not, because have a look at this. They're all starting to lay eggs.
How exciting.
Yeah. So all over the country now, eggs are being laid. A female painted lady butterfly can lay about 300 eggs.
Wow.
So do the maths. Maybe 10 million now, half of those laying 300 eggs. I confidently predict that by August, September, when they've hatched out, the UK will sink under the weight of painted lady butterflies. It's going to be
none of us are going to be able to breathe.
Actually, that isn't going to happen, you know, the sinking. The sinking's not going to happen, because when these ones hatch out, they are a completely different type of insect. These are not an insect which flies and breeds. Their physiology is completely different. They're bigger, they're more muscular, their wing shape is even different, and what they do is they fly all the way back.
So they're still butterflies, they're not a completely different
No, you will
insect.
recognise them. You know, they look exactly like painted ladies, but internally the physiology is completely different, because these are the migrators, and they will go from the northern latitudes, where they've got now, and fly all the way across continental Europe and back to Africa.
Or so they should, Chris. But I checked up with butterfly conservation, and apparently nobody has ever seen this.
Really?
And although they should do it, nobody's ever seen painted lady butterflies make that southern journey back. So is it a dead end?
This has got to be a big chance, though, hasn't it? If there were going to be this many insects in the UK, this is an opportunity for people to see it at last.
We've all got to go to Morocco in the autumn, haven't we? And if you've booked a holiday to Morocco in the autumn, lucky you! Look out for painted lady butterflies. If you haven't booked a holiday,
coming in off
maybe
the sea.
you should. Yeah.
Go to the beach.
We'd love to know about it. Of course, Autumn Watch is going to be coming up later in the year, so we would love to keep following this story and maybe solve the mystery once and for all for butterfly conservation. So it's up to you.
Lovely. Now, naming of the wonderful bustard chick.
Oh, of course.